You are standing in your kitchen right now. Look at your spice rack, or your cabinet, or wherever you keep the things you cook with every single day. Somewhere in that kitchen, probably closer than you think, there are 5 ingredients that researchers at some of the most prestigious cancer research institutions in the world have been studying for decades. Not because they taste good, though they do. Because of what they actually do to cancer cells, because of the specific mechanisms by which they slow cancer cell growth, induce cancer cell death, and prevent the conditions that allow cancer to spread. And I need you to understand something fundamental right now. The pharmaceutical industry has spent billions of dollars trying to synthesize and patent the compounds found in these 5 spices. Because the research is that solid, the evidence is that clear. And yet most people over 60 are either not using these spices at all or using them in ways that destroy the very compounds that make them powerful. My name is Dr. William Lewis. I have spent 29 years in oncology and nutritional medicine, working specifically on the intersection between what the cancer research tells us and what actually reaches people's kitchens in a form they can use every single day. And I am going to tell you something that I believe every person over 60 needs to hear. Your daily food choices are either feeding cancer cells or starving them. There is no neutral ground. Every meal is a decision your body is making about whether you are creating an environment that supports cancer growth or one that actively works against it. The American Cancer Society estimates that approximately 40% of all cancers could be prevented through dietary and lifestyle modifications alone. 40%. Not through expensive treatments, not through emergency interventions. Through the choices you make in your kitchen 3 times a day. But here is the tragedy. Most people do not know what those choices actually are. They do not know which foods activate your body's natural cancer defense systems. They do not know which spices contain compounds that have been shown in peer-reviewed research to trigger apoptosis, cancer cell death, in multiple cancer cell lines. And they do not know the preparation methods that determine whether those compounds ever reach their bloodstream at meaningful concentrations or get destroyed before they ever do anything useful. By the time this video ends, you are going to know exactly what the 5 most powerful cancer-fighting spices are, the specific mechanisms by which they work inside your body, the peer-reviewed research backing each one, and exactly how to prepare and use them to get the maximum benefit. And stay with me, because the 5th spice on this list is the one that researchers now believe may be one of the most comprehensive cancer preventers ever identified. It has been studied for its activity against breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, and leukemia. Yet almost nobody knows about it. Almost nobody is using it. And the way most people prepare it destroys the very compound that makes it work. I want to tell you about a patient I will call Margaret, 69 years old, retired nurse from Boston. Margaret came to me after a routine mammogram had identified a small lesion that was suspicious for breast cancer. She was terrified. She had already decided she was going to need chemotherapy. She had already started processing the idea that her life was going to change dramatically. When the biopsy came back, it confirmed breast cancer, but it was early stage, caught before it had spread anywhere. Her oncologist recommended surgery and radiation, but before she began treatment, she came to me asking if there was anything she could do nutritionally to support her body through the process and reduce the risk of recurrence. Over the following 18 months, during and after her cancer treatment, Margaret made one primary dietary change. She did not overhaul her entire life. She did not become obsessed with health food. She simply added the 5 spices I am about to describe to her daily meals in the specific ways that preserve their anti-cancer compounds. She used turmeric with black pepper in her eggs every morning. She added fresh ginger to her tea every afternoon. She started using cumin in her soups and roasted vegetables. She incorporated cinnamon into her yogurt and oatmeal. And she used garlic, prepared correctly, in virtually every savory meal she cooked. 2 years post-treatment, Margaret remains cancer-free. Her oncologist told her that her recovery and sustained remission were exceptional. When I asked her what she attributed it to, she said, "I gave my body the tools. The spices did the work." That is what this video is about. Those tools. What they are. How to use them. Let me walk you through the science because once you understand the mechanisms, the logic of everything else becomes obvious. Cancer cells survive through several fundamental strategies. First, they evade apoptosis. They disable the programmatic cell death pathway that should eliminate them. Second, they promote angiogenesis. They trigger the formation of new blood vessels to feed themselves. Third, they suppress the immune system. They create an environment where natural killer cells and other immune warriors cannot recognize and eliminate abnormal cells. Fourth, they promote metastasis. They acquire the ability to spread to other parts of the body. And fifth, they promote chronic inflammation. They use inflammatory signals to create the exact environment they need to thrive. The 5 spices I am about to describe intervene at multiple points across all 5 of these mechanisms simultaneously. They are not magic, they are chemistry. Extraordinarily well-studied chemistry that your kitchen has been holding for you. The first spice is turmeric. And if you have paid any attention to health information in the past decade, you have probably heard about turmeric. But I want to tell you why the research on turmeric and cancer is so compelling that it demands to be taken seriously. The active compound in turmeric is curcumin, and curcumin has been the subject of more than 10,000 peer-reviewed scientific papers examining its biological activity. More than 10,000. The mechanism that matters most for cancer prevention involves the NFKB pathway, the master switch of inflammation inside your cells. When NFKB is constantly activated, it produces a chronic inflammatory state that cancer cells exploit to survive and grow. Curcumin inhibits NFKB activation. Multiple studies have shown that curcumin induces apoptosis in breast cancer cells, colon cancer cells, prostate cancer cells, and pancreatic cancer cells at concentrations achievable through dietary intake. A landmark study published in the journal Nutrition and Cancer found that curcumin supplementation in adults at high risk for colorectal cancer reduced precancerous polyp formation by a measurable margin over a 12-month period. But here is the critical detail that almost nobody knows. Curcumin has one of the lowest natural bioavailability rates of any studied phytochemical. Meaning, if you eat turmeric without knowing what you are doing, most of the curcumin passes through your body unused. The studies showing benefit use turmeric prepared in a very specific way. Curcumin is fat-soluble, so it requires dietary fat for absorption. Always combine turmeric with olive oil or another healthy fat. Second, and this is the game-changing finding, adding black pepper to turmeric increases curcumin bioavailability by up to 2,000%. 2,000%. The piperine in black pepper inhibits the enzyme that breaks curcumin down before absorption. Half a teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper in olive oil, added to daily meals, is the minimum effective dose. The second spice is ginger. Raw ginger contains compounds called gingerols. Dried ginger converts those gingerols to shogals through heat processing. Both forms have anti-cancer activity, but through slightly different mechanisms. Gingerols in raw ginger have been shown in laboratory studies to trigger apoptosis in several cancer cell lines, particularly ovarian cancer cells and breast cancer cells. Shogales in dried ginger have shown potent activity against colon cancer cells and leukemia cells. A study published in the journal Molecular Nutrition and Food Research found that ginger extract inhibited the growth of human breast cancer cells in culture by inducing apoptosis and preventing angiogenesis, essentially preventing the tumor from building the blood vessel network it needs to grow beyond a certain size. Use fresh ginger grated into tea or smoothies to get gingerols. Use dried ginger powder in cooked meals to get shogals. The third spice is cumin. Cumin contains a compound called thymoquinone, and thymoquinone has demonstrated remarkable anti-cancer activity in peer-reviewed research. A meta-analysis published in the journal Phytotherapy Research examined multiple studies on thymoquinone and cancer cell lines and found consistent evidence of apoptosis induction across multiple cancer types: breast, prostate, colon, lung, and pancreatic. Thymoquinone works partly through the same NF-κB inhibition mechanism as curcumin and partly through direct DNA damage signaling that triggers cancer cell death. 1 teaspoon of cumin powder added to soups, roasted vegetables, or grain bowls daily provides meaningful thymoquinone intake. The fourth spice is cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, not the more common cassia variety, contains cinnamaldehyde and other compounds that have shown anti-cancer activity in research settings. Ceylon cinnamon has been specifically studied for its effects on colon cancer cells, where it induced apoptosis and reduced cancer cell proliferation in laboratory models. A quarter teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon daily, added to oatmeal, yogurt, tea, or roasted fruit, provides measurable intake of the active compounds. And now the fifth spice, the one I promised you, the one that researchers believe may be one of the most comprehensive cancer preventers ever identified. That spice is garlic, and the compound at the center of the research is called allicin. Here is what you need to understand about allicin. It does not exist in intact garlic, not until you damage it. When you crush or mince a garlic clove, you bring together two separate compounds, allicin and the enzyme alliinase, that have been kept apart by the clove's intact cellular structure. They combine and produce allicin. Allicin is unstable and begins to degrade immediately. But during the conversion window, approximately 10 minutes after crushing, allicin is at its maximum concentration. Now here is the critical point. When you crush garlic and immediately expose it to heat, you denature the alliinase enzyme before the allicin conversion can complete. You destroy the very mechanism that produces the anti-cancer compound. The solution is simple. Crush or mince your garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. During those 10 minutes, allicin forms. Once allicin is formed, it is more heat-stable than the enzyme that produced it. You can then cook normally and retain the anti-cancer benefit. Allicin and its derivatives, particularly ajoine and diallyl disulfide, have demonstrated anti-cancer activity against breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, stomach cancer, and leukemia in peer-reviewed research. A comprehensive review published in the Journal of Medicinal Food examined over 40 studies on garlic compounds and cancer and concluded that there is compelling evidence for garlic's role in cancer prevention and potentially in slowing progression of established cancers. 2 to 3 cloves of properly prepared garlic daily, crushed, rested for 10 minutes, then cooked, is the amount most consistently associated with measurable benefit in the research. This is the protocol. Specific, affordable, and beginning today. Step 1. Turmeric. Half a teaspoon of turmeric powder with a pinch of black pepper and a drizzle of olive oil added to 1 meal per day. Scrambled eggs in the morning, soup at lunch, roasted vegetables at dinner. The fat and the pepper are not optional. Without them, the curcumin does not reach your bloodstream at meaningful concentrations. Step 2. Ginger. A half-inch piece of fresh ginger grated into hot water with lemon every morning. Also add a quarter teaspoon of dried ginger powder to 1 cooked meal per day. Step 3. Cumin. 1 teaspoon of cumin powder added to a soup, stew, or roasted vegetable dish daily. Step 4. Cinnamon. A quarter teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon daily, added to oatmeal, yogurt, or tea. Step 5. Garlic. Crush or mince 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Do nothing else during those 10 minutes. Let the allicin form. Then add the garlic to whatever you are cooking, every single day. These 5 spices, used correctly, daily, work through overlapping and complementary mechanisms to create an anti-cancer biochemical environment in your body. They are not a substitute for medical screening, medical treatment if you receive a cancer diagnosis, or a healthy overall lifestyle, but they are a powerful addition to your daily defense system. The research is clear, the mechanisms are identified, the preparation methods are simple, and the cost is minimal. If this is the first time anyone has explained to you the specific mechanisms by which these 5 spices work against cancer cells, not just that they are healthy, but exactly how they work and exactly how to prepare them to get maximum benefit, please hit that subscribe button right now. This channel exists to give adults over 60 the information about cancer prevention and health protection that your doctor does not have time to explain. Every video is built on published research. Every video is designed to give you what your 12-minute appointment never can. Subscribe now. I want to come back to Margaret one more time. She is now 3 years cancer-free. She still uses the 5 spices every single day. She has become something of an evangelist about them. She has gotten her entire friend group using turmeric, ginger, garlic, cumin, and cinnamon in the specific ways that activate their anti-cancer compounds. And when I asked her recently what she attributes her sustained remission to, she said something that I think about constantly. She said, "The cancer made me pay attention to the power I had in my own kitchen. I did not realize I was sitting on tools this entire time. That power is available to you right now. You do not have to wait for a diagnosis. You do not have to wait for a health scare. You can begin using these 5 spices starting tonight, starting your next meal. And every day that you use them correctly, you are creating conditions inside your body that make cancer less likely to take hold, less likely to survive if it does, and less likely to spread if it ever develops. Here is what you do today. Step 1. After you watch this video, go to your kitchen and look at your spice rack. Do you have turmeric? Do you have ginger? Do you have cumin? Do you have cinnamon? Do you have garlic? Write down which ones you already have. Step 2. If you are missing any, add them to your shopping list today. They are inexpensive. Every grocery store carries them. Step 3. Learn how to prepare each one. Write down the methods: turmeric with black pepper and fat, fresh ginger in tea and dried in cooking, cumin in soups, cinnamon in yogurt or oatmeal, garlic crushed and rested before cooking. Step 4. Start with just 1 spice tomorrow, not all 5 at once. Pick the one that fits most naturally into your routine. Step 5. Share this video with one person over 60 in your life today, someone whose health you care about. You may not know whose life this information protects. Before you go, I want to ask you 2 things. First, write your age in the comments right now, just the number. The age of this community shapes every video I make, and I read every single comment personally. Second, which of these 5 spices surprised you most? Was it the 2,000% absorption increase from black pepper, the 10-minute garlic window, the comprehensive cancer-fighting mechanism of curcumin? Tell me in the comments. Your answer often leads directly to the next video this community needs. And before you close this video, there is another video on this channel that covers the 5 foods you should eliminate from your kitchen immediately if you want to reduce your cancer risk, and the specific reasons why each one actively promotes the conditions cancer cells need to survive. Go watch it now. What you learn there completes the picture this video started. Your body is not fixed. Your cells are not predetermined. They are responsive to what you feed them, to the compounds you expose them to the daily decisions you make in your kitchen. Give them the tools they deserve. I am Dr. William Lewis, and I will see you in the next one.